Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined by Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking broadband outage compensation in the UK, what Ofcom owes you in 2026 today, and tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like Broadband Outage Compensation Calculator UK, so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
Hello and welcome back to the Cost Saver podcast. Today we're getting into something that, honestly, I think affects way more of us than we realize: broadband outages, and specifically what you might actually be owed when your internet goes down. I'm Angela, and with me, as always, is Assad.
Hey, Angela. Yeah, this is a big one. I mean, in 2026, everything runs on broadband, right? Like everything. So when it drops out, it's not just annoying. It can genuinely cost you money.
Right. And I think most people just kind of shrug it off, like, oh, well, it's back now. Or maybe they expect a few quid knocked off their bill. But you're saying it's potentially a lot more than that.
Massively. So since Ofcom launched the automatic compensation scheme back in 2019, providers have paid out, and this number still gets me, well over 177 million pounds to households.
Wait, 177 million? Seriously?
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing, and this is the bit that kind of frustrates me. Millions of pounds in legitimate claims still go unpaid every year just because people don't know the rules, or they assume their provider has, quietly sorted it.
Hmm.
On average, a household with a week-long outage is owed somewhere between 50 and 80 pounds in automatic credits, but roughly 1 in 3 households receive less than they should.
1 in 3? That's actually wild. So a third of people are just getting shortchanged.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. So this scheme, the Ofcom Automatic Compensation Scheme, walk me through how it actually works. Because I feel like people have heard the name, but don't really know the detail.
Sure. So it's technically voluntary for ISPs, but all the major ones are signed up. BT, Sky, Virgin Media, TalkTalk, Vodafone, EE, PlusNet, HyperOptic, Zen Internet, and a handful of others. And by 2026, Ofcom's been pushing the smaller altnets to join too, so the coverage is pretty wide.
Okay, so most people should be covered. What situations does it actually kick in for?
3 scenarios. First, total loss of service that's not fixed after 2 full working days. You get a daily rate from day 3 onwards. Second, missed engineer appointments, so the engineer doesn't show up or cancels with less than 24 hours notice. And third, delayed activation of a new service beyond the date the provider promised you.
And the rates, I imagine they've gone up a bit with inflation.
They have, yeah. They get reviewed every April. As of 2026, you're looking at around $9.76 per calendar day for total loss of service, about $30.49 for each missed engineer appointment, and around $6.10 per day for delayed activation.
Okay, so those are pretty specific numbers. Now, and this is the one I've always wondered about. What if my internet's not totally dead, but it's just awful? Like it keeps dropping out or it's crawling along at 2 Mbps when I'm paying for 100.
Yeah, so this is where most of the disputes happen, honestly. Total loss means your broadband literally doesn't work at all. If it's dropping in and out, or it's really slow, or it only works on certain devices, the scheme technically doesn't apply.
Oh, that's a massive gap, isn't it?
It is, because a flaky connection can ruin your week just as much as a dead one, right? But Ofcom treats that as a quality issue rather than a service failure. You can still complain, try for a goodwill credit, but it won't be automatic. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. Frustrating, but it makes sense. Okay, now tell me about this 2-day clock thing, because I've heard people really get caught out by this.
Oh, they do. So the compensation clock doesn't start the moment your internet dies. It starts after a 48-hour grace period. And, this is the crucial bit, it's counted in full working days.
Working days, so weekends don't.
Weekends don't count, bank holidays don't count, so if your internet goes down on a Friday evening, which, size low it always does, you might not start accruing compensation until Wednesday.
Ugh, of course.
Right, and loads of people lose service on a Friday, get it back on Tuesday, and think they're owed 4 days. But actually, under the scheme, they're owed nothing, because that 2-day grace period covered the whole thing.
That is, I get the logic, but that's really frustrating for the person sitting there all weekend with no internet.
Totally. And there's another thing. You must report the fault to your provider for the clock to even start. If your line dies on a Monday, but you don't ring up until Thursday, the 2-day countdown starts on Thursday, not Monday.
Oh, so you could lose days of compensation just by not picking up the phone.
Exactly. Always report it the same day. Even if you think it's a wider area issue, just get it logged.
Right. Okay, so that's mistake number 1, not reporting quickly. What are the other common mistakes you see?
So, and I love this example, there was a case, Sarah from Leeds, she lost her Virgin Media connection for 9 days, assumed she'd be credited automatically, ignored the bill for 2 months, and when she finally checked, she'd received £18 instead of the £68 she was owed.
Wow.
One email quoting the Ofcom scheme, and the missing £50 landed within a fortnight. But she nearly missed it entirely.
That's actually really reassuring, though, that one email can sort it. What else trips people up?
Canceling the direct debit. People get furious about being offline, and I get it, but they cancel the direct debit in protest. Problem is, most ISPs pay compensation as a credit against your account, not a cash refund. Cancel the bill, and the credit has nowhere to go. Plus, you'll rack up late payment fees on top.
So you're actually making things worse for yourself.
Much worse. Keep paying as normal, dispute through the proper channels. The credit will show up on a future bill.
Okay, what else?
This one's sneaky. Accepting a quick goodwill gesture instead of the full compensation. So you ring up to complain, the call handler offers you $20 to make it go away. Tempting, right? But some providers ask you to accept it in full and final settlement, which can actually waive your right to the automatic compensation you were entitled to.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it like that. So you could be signing away.
Signing away a bigger payout, yeah. Always ask, is this on top of automatic compensation or instead of it? And get that answer in writing. Email, web chat transcript, whatever.
Ha, fair enough. Don't sign away your rights for a quick 20 quid.
Basically, yeah. And then there's the engineer window. The $30.49 missed appointment payment cuts both ways. If you arranged a slot and you weren't home, that's on you, no compensation. And some providers will actually charge you a missed appointment fee.
Ouch.
Yeah. If you need to cancel, give more than 24 hours notice and confirm it in writing.
And records? I'm guessing keeping records is important too?
Massively. Screenshots of speed tests, text messages confirming outages, dates and reference numbers of every call. Because without that, your only evidence is the provider's own system, which, might show something a bit different to what you remember.
Right. Okay, so we've covered the automatic compensation stuff, but what about actually the real costs, like the stuff that actually hits your wallet day to day during an outage?
Yeah, so this is where the Ofcom scheme kind of falls short. It's a baseline, not the full picture. The real cost of an outage to a modern household is often 2 or 3 times the official rate.
Like what?
Well, mobile data top-ups for a start. Your home broadband dies, first thing you do is hammer the 4G on your phone. 5 days offline can easily mean 20 to 40 pounds in data add-ons you'd never normally buy. Keep the receipts because some providers will reimburse reasonable mobile data costs as a goodwill gesture, especially if you escalate through their formal complaints process.
Oh, good to know. And what about, for people working from home?
Yeah, so if you're freelance and you earn, say, $200 a day and your broadband's dead, that 9.76 daily compensation is a $190 shortfall that the scheme just won't address. Some home insurance policies do include home office cover for business interruption, though, so it's worth checking your policy.
That's something I'd never have thought to check.
And then there's sort of the ripple effects. Smart home stuff, security cameras, smart doorbells, alarm systems. If they depend on broadband, an outage means a genuine safety gap. Some insurers are even starting to ask about backup connectivity now as part of your home insurance application.
Wow, okay. It's just one of those things where you don't realize how dependent you are until it all goes down, you know?
Exactly. And even little things, like you couldn't print a returns label, missed the returns window for a retailer, lost your right to a refund. More common than you think.
So, if we think we're owed money, and I suspect a lot of people listening right now are thinking, maybe I am, how do we actually go about this properly?
Okay, so first thing, actually, before anything else, go check your last 3 months of broadband bills. Look for line items like service credit or automatic compensation. Sometimes credits get applied silently and people never notice. But equally, missed credits are easier to flag if you've got that paper trail.
Go on.
Then, use the calculator on the site. It takes the official 2026 rates, strips out the 2-day grace, handles weekends and bank holidays properly, and gives you a realistic figure. Takes about 10 minutes, no personal details needed. Compare that number with what you've actually been credited.
And if there's a gap?
If there's a gap of more than a few pounds, contact your provider in writing, their official complaints form. Keep it factual. Quote the Ofcom scheme by name, reference the specific rates, and then, and this is important, give them 8 weeks to respond formally.
8 weeks? That feels like forever.
I know, but it's the official window. If they refuse or don't reply within that time, you escalate to the Communications Ombudsman. It's completely free for consumers and it's binding on the provider. And honestly, around 2/3 of complaints that reach the Ombudsman are decided wholly or partly in the customer's favor.
2/3? That's actually really encouraging.
It is. The system works. You just have to actually use it.
Fair point. Okay, last thing. For people who are just like done with unreliable broadband, what can they actually do to avoid this whole mess in the first place?
So, a few things. Full fiber, FTTP, if it's available in your area, it tends to be far more reliable than the older copper connections, usually worth the small extra monthly cost. Check Ofcom's quarterly complaints data before you sign up with anyone new. It's all published, tells you who's actually good and who's not.
That's a great tip.
And consider a cheap 5G mini router with a rolling SIM-only deal as a backup, just something to keep you going during outages. Oh, and be wary of those eye-wateringly cheap intro rates. The price tends to jump sharply after 18 months, and customer service on the cheapest tiers is often, well, you get what you pay for.
Cheapest at sign up is rarely cheapest over 2 years, right?
Exactly that. And if you've got your phone, TV, and broadband all bundled through one provider, a single outage takes everything down. Something to think about.
Yeah, that's a lot to consider, actually. Okay, so let me try and pull this together. The big takeaways: report any outage to your provider immediately, same day, because the clock doesn't start until you do. Keep records of everything: screenshots, reference numbers, receipts for mobile data. Know the specific Ofcom rates: 9.76 a day for total loss, 30.49 for a missed engineer, 6.10 for delayed activation. Don't cancel your direct debit. Don't accept a goodwill offer without checking it's on top of the automatic compensation. And if your provider isn't playing fair, the Ombudsman is free and it works.
Nailed it. And honestly, just go run the calculator. 10 minutes, no sign up, and you might find you're owed more than you think.
Thanks so much, Assad. Really useful stuff.
Cheers, Angela.
And thank you all for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Quick side note, this guide connects with other cost saver blogs, especially Broadband Reliability Checker Mistakes and Hidden Costs, Company Car vs. Cash Allowance UK Tax Position 4, and Avoid Hidden Fees and Choose the Cheapest UK Courier.
Exactly. And reading those together helps you connect the dots across your household budget, not just this one topic in isolation.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like Broadband Outage Compensation Calculator UK right after this episode. That wraps this cost saver conversation with Angela and Assad. If this helped, share it with someone who could put these ideas to work this week.
Your next step is simple. Try Broadband Outage Compensation Calculator UK, then read Broadband Reliability Checker Mistakes and Hidden Costs, and use them together to take action today.